Good. How are you? Nice to see you. Don't get him. Don't get him. Bonjour. Comment ça va?
I will call you.
Bien,
So,
bien.
my granddaughter is here.
I know.
She's a good student.
Yes, she is. I know.
She is traveling. I'm sure for you. Okay.
Very good. Enjoy.
Okay.
Should be very nice. Good.
Yeah, everything we need. You're awesome.
We're just gonna give it one more minute, let everybody else trickle back in, sit back down. How is everyone tonight? Happy to be here? Yes, celebrating our youth and entrepreneurs. Yes, that's right.
Go figure.
Was the alphabetical list.
Well, welcome. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the MedNexus Innovation Challenge Pitch Competition. Glad you're here with us. My name is Melissa Chips, and I will be your MC tonight. I own a local social media business. My daughter graduated FPC. She has her daughter. So my granddaughter is actually here, and she's going to get her entrepreneur spirit going on tonight, too. And she's 7 months old, so we're starting her early. Therefore, I am so thrilled to be here with you and excited to congratulate this great group of young aspiring entrepreneurs. To kick us off, we're going to have Dr. David Szymanski, former UNF president, CEO, and executive director of UNF MedNexus. Dr. Szymanski.
Well, it's great to be here, and it's great to have everybody here. You know, this is exciting. Palm Coast is a wonderful, wonderful city. I tell the mayor that all the time. He tells me that back all the time, too. So we all agree with that. Phenomenal people, but importantly, what we have is phenomenal students. We have an opportunity tonight to celebrate them and who they are, the great educational system we have. We thank you, Superintendent Middlestaff, for all that you're doing to really create the next generation of leaders. And these students really are leaders. So when I meet with them and I talk to them and I talk with my group, Karen Bowling, who's also been instrumental in this, is very competitive about her group versus my group and all these kinds of things. But you forget that you're talking to high school students. You really think you're talking about tomorrow's leaders as well as today's leaders. They came up with the idea of thinking about sleep. When we think about an issue and a topic that's on all our minds, in which everybody in this room can probably raise their hand and say, I don't get enough sleep. And sleep actually really impacts who you are, how you do things, how you perform, your body, your physical health, your mental health. And so talking about that as an issue today is really topical, timely, but also important to our young people. Because when we look at the data, it's only 5% of them get 8 hours of sleep, 8 to 9 hours of sleep. And so you think about 95% of the students are sleep deprived, yet they're supposed to function at a very, very high cognitive level as well as the physical level. Because when you talk to these students, they're involved in lots and lots of things. So it's an opportunity today to hear from the best and the brightest, to think about an entrepreneurial spirit, to get them to talk about ideas, present them to you, to really think about this as a Shark Tank, and they're excited about it. And they're also a little bit nervous, probably at different points in time, but they're thrilled to be here. And they didn't realize it was going to be such a big event in some respects when they see everybody here and they see our panel of distinguished people. I want to thank our judges. I want to thank the school system and what they're doing. I want to thank Karen Bowling, who runs our Innovation Center and is also in charge of our global partnerships at MedNexus. She's phenomenal and really has done an unbelievable job. And she's had help with Kara, who's over here. And Kara's been phenomenal too. So She's worked with all the students. She's worked with all the people in the room. She's coordinated the event. It doesn't happen all by itself. And if it looks like it's seamless, it's because there's people working really, really hard. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank the parents for your children. Your children are phenomenal, and I know you're going to be really proud of them. And you know, so I'll give them a big hug when we're done, because what they're doing is really, really, really remarkable. Something as I was telling the mayor, I said, I don't remember doing this when I was young. I don't remember having these opportunities. I don't remember being that good that we could actually do these things, you know. So I'm proud of them, as you are, and I'm proud to be here and proud to represent MedNexus here in Palm Coast. With that, I'm going to turn it over to our mayor, Mayor Alphen, who's a phenomenal leader and also one of our judges, who's going to vote for which people. Okay, never mind. We're going to turn it over to Mayor Alphen.
Always a pleasure. These academic guys always come well prepared. The problem is, if you follow them, they steal all the good lines. So my great staff keeps me on a short leash, so bear with me, because these words are important, I think. As I wish you good evening, I would like to take this opportunity to again welcome all of you to the 2022 MedNexus Innovation Challenge, and thank you for being here this evening. We're excited that the City of Palm Coast can once again partner alongside UNF and Flagler Schools to offer this incredible opportunity to local high school students. Tonight, in this very room, some of our best and brightest students will have the opportunity to pitch their solutions to address sleep deprivation among their peers. I want to acknowledge for a moment the excitement and anxiety being felt by those students right now, and encourage everyone in this room to do their best to encourage and support them during their presentations. Just off script for a minute, I tried to speak to each student in advance of their coming before such a scary audience this evening to tell them, stop and take just a moment to enjoy the experience. These experiences can be few and far between. It's very important that they leave this room tonight feeling how much they have accomplished. I also want to recognize the parents and family members who are present here tonight. How many folks in the audience are parents? Okay, very nice. A support. A support system is pivotal in the development of a child and can be the key to unlocking the door to a successful future. I want to thank each of you for the supportive role you have all played in these students' lives. I would also like to thank UNF MedNexus and the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation for choosing Palm Coast as the home for this year's Innovation Challenge for the second year in a row. The importance of the MedNexus concept centers on providing education and career opportunities right here in our city, and that cannot be overstated. The Innovation Challenge plays right into our goal of getting young adults interested and engaged in the medical and technology fields right here in our Palm Coast community. I proudly endorse the city's youth as they succeed in showcasing their most novel, real-world concepts for our future, moving swiftly from classrooms to careers right here in their own hometown. What could be better than that? I would also like to thank all of our city staff, some of whom are probably hiding behind the curtain, for putting in the work required to make this evening like tonight happen. Not just inside the room, but outside as well. With that being said, I would like to wish all the teams good luck and let the Innovation Challenge begin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And now we're going to have Superintendent
challenge will begin momentarily. Just a few quick words, because the school district is so proud to be a partnership in what we afford our students in terms of opportunities. We strive in classroom to careers, and we bring that through our K through 12 school district, all the way across all of our grade levels. It's one of the things we're very proud of. So when UNF came forward a year or so ago with this opportunity, I'm like, what can we do? We haven't done anything. We've been able to afford our students this opportunity by the partnership that UNF has created with the City of Palm Coast with the MedNexus complex and concept moving forward. So this entrepreneurship opportunity through the medical experience and the technology for the students to be able to team up and collaborate and work with faculty at UNF and other professionals to prepare them for life beyond high school is truly remarkable. So Flagler Schools, we are so proud to be a part of this opportunity for our students to stretch themselves beyond the classroom day, because what they're doing in preparing for this is after school hours and on the weekend. And so that extra collaboration, and thank you parents, I see you nodding out there, to support the students as they strive to prepare for this evening event is just phenomenal. There were over 20 applications, 25 I believe, so we are going to be previewing or finalizing, watching the top 5 this evening. So I commend any student who put themselves forward and went through the process to develop that. That in itself is an educational opportunity. So I'm excited to be here this evening. The bar was set so high last year, so I'm interested to see how the pitches go this evening, because I know I could use some sleep deprivation assistance as well. Some of the things that we've been working through at the school district and with the storms lately, I think we've all been there and stretched. So let's all sit back and learn from the best of the brightest in the future that we have here in the surrounding school district and Flagler schools as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kathy. And I would like to take a second to commend her and the school system, actually, because my daughter was one of the first to graduate from I-4 program, which was amazing. So I love the school system here. So without any further ado, let's get into the pitch competition. As a reminder, the teams are here tonight. We're selected out of a very competitive field of 25 teams. Their task was to come up with a product or service idea that improves sleep and sleep habits for young adults. Each team will have 7 minutes to pitch, and then up to 3 to 5 minutes for questions and answers from the judges. At the end, we will tally the score, and the top 3 companies will be awarded. First place will be receiving a $1,000 scholarship prize per team member. Second place is $750 scholarship prize per team member. And then our audience choice winners receive $1,000 per team. You guys will be choosing that. At the end of the presentation, we will be transitioning outside. And I need a side note, when we transition outside, please make sure to go out the front unless you want to walk through the grass. So don't forget to turn in the audience choice ballots to Melanie and Karen, who will be standing at the doors as you exit. Karen, Melanie, can you wait for us? Oh, it's right there. Oh, they're not at the doors, but they're right there. So hand them to them. Okay, perfect. Lastly, I would like to take a moment to recognize our judges, who are helping us decide our first and second place teams tonight. If you'll stand as I call your name. David Alphin, Mayor of Palm Coast. Thank you. David Ferguson, Score, Palm Coast. Woo! Dolores Key, Economic Development Manager, Palm Coast, Flagler Beach. Lee Wright, Advent Health. Last but not least, we have Heidi House, Flagler County Schools. So our first presenters for tonight from FPC, Flagler Palm Coast High Schools, are Brandon, Ryder, Savannah, Kimura with Nudge 3. Please help me welcome them.
Hi everyone, we're so excited you could all make it out tonight.
We are so excited that you guys are here tonight.
If you haven't noticed on the screen and from the amazing announcers, we are Nudge.
Over the past few weeks, we have used our Fitbit data to find our own sleep and screen correlation. On the infographic on the screens shows the data we have collected over the past few weeks.
My name is Brennan Herman. I get an average of 7 hours of screen time and an average of 6 hours of sleep time.
My name is Kamora Sanchez. I get an average of 6 hours of screen time and 5 hours of sleep time.
My name is Ryder McDowell. I get an average about 5 hours of screen time and 7 hours of sleep time.
My name is Savannah Miranda, and I get on average 4 hours of screen time and 8 hours of sleep time.
Nudge's primary goal is to decrease the sleep deprivation in adolescents by restricting the amount of screen time that adolescents are getting. Sleep deprivation in adolescents can cause a lot of lifelong impacts such as anxiety, depression, mind fog. Each of these three things is not very beneficial to a healthy lifestyle and therefore should be eased.
We have deemed that the number one problem within adolescence is sleep deprivation caused by screen time. Ages 10 to 22 are highly affected by this, and our application Nudge was created in order not only to improve this, but also their well-being.
Nudge's key value prospect is the fact that it has an inclusive three-tiered system. The first tier is a system where adolescents are able to monitor their own screen time and restrict it as needed. The second tier is for guardians or parents to restrict their child's screen time. The third tier is a premium system that has an inclusive group where adolescents and guardians are able to monitor screen time. Each of these three categories falls under a system of restriction, where a Nudge will send notifications to get you off your device, where Alert will send numerous notifications along with alarms, and Bolt will lock any non-required apps that are not necessary for the device to function.
Now, you may be asking yourself, why now? Well, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, screen time usages skyrocketed. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, it averaged out to about 3.8 hours daily, and after the COVID-19 pandemic, it averaged out to about 7.7 hours daily. This caused an increase in mental health issues, along with sleep deprivation and many other problems within adolescents.
In our analysis of the market, we first utilized the 2020 government census to find how many people are between the ages of 10 and 22 at the national level. We then further refined this number to match our target customer by using the poverty line to quantify how many of these individuals would actually have access to a smart device and thus have access to our app. We then, using these methods, found about 50 million people in our total target market size and about 17,000 customers in Flagler County alone.
The customers Nudge plans to target are adolescents whose screen time negatively affects their sleep time. So at FPC, the school we go to, I conducted a study of international baccalaureate students. In my study, I asked them 2 questions. Number 1, what's your average number screen time? And number 2, what's your average sleep time? My study concluded that there was a correlation between high averages of screen time and low averages of sleep time. Teenagers our age are getting higher or just the same amount of screen time as they are sleeping at night, which is crazy. Students could have mental issues that rise from not having enough screen time or not having enough sleep time. Thank you.
While other companies either prioritize personal betterment or parental control, Nudge takes a uniquely collaborative approach between parent and child to the problem of screen time misuse. Our features of Nudge, Alert, and Bolt meet the standard offerings across the competitive grid. Furthermore, Nudge's dedication to accessibility is reflected in our baseline services coming free of charge. We feel that our app is an invaluable tool in the solution to screen time misuse and thus sleep deprivation. This is a preliminary markup of what our cost structure might look like. Our primary sources of revenue would be advertising and the cost of premium services, which is the third tier. This chart shows some of the basic costs and expenses we might expect, which you can see include things like app maintenance, as well as practical things like hosting in an app store like iOS, and the price of a merchant fee for services like PayPal or similar services. This thing does not include a startup loan nor the cost of app development, but that would be one of our first steps moving forward.
So in order to get started developing Nudge, we would need to use the research we conducted in our cost report and our competitive grid. Using this, we would need to make infographics that would tell us exactly what we need to start our app and our next steps. On the screen above is our references page. This shows all of the sources and research we have done to make sure that our numbers are correct and that we're giving the correct information to you all. On the bottom, additional resources in Nudge shows meditation, sleep sounds, and sleep and health articles. These are articles that we have read and researched. These will be implemented into Nudge that will help adolescents our age be able to help their mental health, their physical health, and their sleep and screen relationships. Thank you.
We just wanted to thank you all so much for coming out. We value both your time and your patience with us. We are Nudge.
So my question is the following. Presentation, very, very nicely done, very understandable. So amongst your peers, how will you make them aware or advertise or promote your app?
So that would be similar to in the Getting Started page, where that's something we'd have to look into for further market research regarding the costs of advertising, which is something that Ryder mentioned earlier. And overall, within our peers, we could do simple story posts, and we could create social media platforms and possibly a website to spread the word about Nudge and get the information out there to our peers.
What were some challenges you faced putting together this presentation and the product?
So thank you, that was a great question. Some challenges that we faced were definitely learning each other's strengths and weaknesses and also working together. We all compromised and we all had to give up something to be here and to work together, and it was a team effort. Sometimes things were rocky, but that's just about working in a team and realizing that you are all different human beings. And as human beings, we make mistakes and we think irrationally sometimes. So I guess it's just really learning everyone's strengths and weaknesses and being able to overcome that together.
I like the competitive analysis. That's an important component to it. Startup businesses, to understand what you're up against. I guess my question for each of you or all of you is that if someone in the audience said, here's a check, would you go ahead with this plan, or is it just for the MedNexus competition?
Personally, I say we'd go for it.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
I think we would all definitely agree that we would go for this. Our heart and souls are in Nudge, and we believe in our cause. We believe in this app and that it can change the lives and the health of our peers.
So other than sleep, what else did you sacrifice?
I mean, we all have very busy schedules, like course load aside. We're also, I think Brandon and I, we're all in similar clubs. I think we're in 5 clubs-ish each. And so scheduling was kind of a nightmare. Having to work out, well, Kimura works too, which is a whole different thing. Working out when we're all free was something that was consistently a challenge.
Along with that, some of us live on the other side of town, so transportation was a bit of a mess at times. I'm the only one that drives as well, so it was kind of hard to get everyone back and forth. But overall, it was a fun experience, and we're happy we did it together.
Do any of y'all have
coding experience to be able to develop the app?
I do. I'm glad I have the microphone. I'm in IB Computer Science this year, which is basically Java-based programming. It's pretty introductory, but I think I could work with app development the best out of all of us to consult on what our goals are for what we want the interface to look like.
And I also took AP Computer Science, so I could definitely help out with the creation of this app with Writer.
So did any of you start sleeping more based on your research?
I think we stayed pretty on par with our normal schedules.
The one thing I think we shared insight on was the Fitbit. Seeing our sleep schedules, I had personally, I think a couple days ago I got 4 hours of sleep, but I woke up so refreshed, and I looked at my Fitbit data and was like, you got no deep sleep, no REM sleep. That's why you feel refreshed. You barely went to sleep. So that's been really insightful, I think.
Another thing great about the Fitbits that were provided were that we definitely got to see whether some of us got deep sleep, REM, like Ryder mentioned, where I know Savannah, for example, gets no REM. And it's been said that due to that, you may start to experience forgetting things. And I think, especially me too, I experienced no REM on some nights, and I wake up and I'm like, I don't really remember what happened the other day. But overall, it was great having the Fitbits and great using it for our project as well.
We agree. Very good.
Great job, guys. And let's just say the judges are also not as hard as right? So we are going to give the judges 2 minutes to go ahead and complete their comments and collect their score sheet. While we were reflecting on Nudge, which was amazing, good job, I'd like to recognize Lizelle Kerr. Lizelle was a finalist in last year's competition and is now the very first. Is that Lizelle? Hi, Lizelle! She is the very first Palm Coast MedNexus intern. So the team really appreciates you, Lizelle. Thanks for being here. A round of applause again, guys. So now our next presenters. We are also from FPC, Flagler Palm Coast High. We have Cameron and Remora with Red Shield.
Hello everyone, and I come to you with a problem. Sleep deprivation is on the rise, and counting sheep is just not going to cut it anymore.
My name is Cameron Triggers, and we're a pair of entrepreneurial seniors at Flagler Palm Coast High School, and we're passionate about revolutionizing the personal device accessory market. And our underlying mission is to adapt technology to be less disruptive to getting healthy, quality sleep.
So, why now? Americans have been partaking in sleep since the dawn of our existence. But recently there has been a shift because of our progressive society and the influence of rapid stimuli that has made our brains get busier. According to the National Institute of Health, 97% of teenagers get less than the recommended amount of sleep, and 90% of people use their technology devices before bed, showing that that technology provides a significant shift in our sleep patterns.
And as it turns out, UV light exposure is a critical factor in determining sleep quality, especially two different variations of light, blue light and red light. For example, blue light has been shown to disrupt the human circadian rhythm, which inhibits our melatonin production because it stimulates the brain. On the other hand, red light has been found to be used successfully in insomnia treatment because unlike blue light, it does not stimulate the brain. But don't just take our word for it. The JAT Journal of Athletic Training studied red light exposure in Chinese basketball players, and they found that this red light illumination actually improved sleep quality and endurance on the court. So we wanted to see if we could replicate these findings among a sample group of our peers of high school students, which is a critical target group we will market to. And so we did this by dividing a sample group of 27 students And within these groups, decided they said 27 students among 3 strata groups, each independent of one another. And within these individual groups, the first 3 students, represented by the blue, were asked to make no alterations in their exposure to blue light while in bed. So they used their iPhone, their MacBooks, their tablets while in bed before going to sleep. And the second 3 were asked to completely refrain from using any personal devices while in bed before going to sleep. And the last 3 were asked to manually change their device's graphical settings to display a red tint as opposed to a blue tint. And so we repeated this process again and again until we came to a statistically reliable average. And as you can see, the students that were exposed to blue light had far worse sleep efficiency, as decided by the National Institute of Sleep, compared to the students who were exposed to either no light at all or red light. So this means we have 2 approaches when addressing the sleep deprivation epidemic. We can replace blue light exposure with red light exposure, or we can ask young adults to completely forgo their phones before going to bed. And that means we need to confront a brutal reality. Young adults are not going to stop using their devices at bed, and you can take that from us.
I definitely agree with Cameron. So, to combat this, our product incorporates cutting-edge sensor technology integrated within thermoplastic polyurethane screen protectors. If you move to the next slide, you can see a visual of our screen protector product. The first layer would be the polycarbonate material, which is currently used within blue light glasses currently and blocks the blue light from entering our eyes. Moving to the next layer, the basis of our product is a polyurethane plastic currently used within screen protectors. And then the third, but not least layer, our nanosensor technology layer, which would be able to use sensor technology to gather light information, differentiating between daytime and nighttime, giving a hint to our device when to emit the red light. And then if you go onto our app, RedShield will be able to create an app which will be able to sync to your health app, which are currently on the phones, or if consumers do not want us to use that data, they will be able to self-report the data in their own manner.
So we expect RedShield to enjoy a significant advantage over its closest market competitors, as demonstrated by this competitor matrix. And as you can see, RedShield on the top right enjoys tangible, proven improvement to sleep outcomes and enjoys a high degree of user-friendliness. Whereas other products that may have a proven, tangible improvement to sleep outcomes, such as sleep aid medications and melatonin pills, the science supports that they improve sleep outcomes, but they do pose a significant health risk to users, which has been shown by recent studies. And other mainstream products like blue light glasses, standard screen protectors, and things like that may be user-friendly, but the science doesn't necessarily support the idea that they make a real improvement to sleep outcomes. And lastly, the embedded software within all devices that allows you to change the display settings is not practical for those of you that are not savvy with technology. And so let's move on to our sales model. So RedShield will primarily focus on wholesale contracts with major accessory distributors, as well as bulk sales to educational institutions to provide accessories to students at discounted cost. We'll have a secondary focus on individual purchases, individual direct purchases through our website. And our product is not only available on smartphones, but also tablets, desktops, and laptop devices. So moving on, our RedShield will enjoy a large total addressable market, which includes almost all personal device users, companies and colleges, roughly many of the major accessory retailers. But if we focus on a select few key target groups that our company markets to, that would include about 110,000 K-12 public schools in the United States, around 80 million 13 to 35-year-olds, which are most likely to buy an accessory for their personal devices, as well as about 30 of the most major accessory retailers. But once we come to a realistic estimate of what we can capture from those key target groups, would include roughly half of each of those qualities. So 55,000 K-12 public schools, about 40 million personal device users, and about 15 of the most major accessory retailers. So just to recap, I know we just threw a lot at you, so let's go through a quick recap. The sleep deprivation epidemic is a growing problem, and consumer interest in addressing it is increasing. But market competitors are failing to provide a product that tangibly increases sleep outcomes and is user-friendly. But modern technology allows for a transformation in the way we use our devices. With all that being said, we hope you give red light the green light by supporting our company, RedShield.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
So you mentioned it briefly. This is the Shark Tank question. Would you consider collaborating with a fashion-oriented eyewear accessory company to complement what you're trying to achieve with the device?
So absolutely. So that's what we really appreciate about this product. It's so dynamic, and the technology can be compatible with most of the most dynamic smart technology that's on the market today. So, for example, if you're referring to like the Google Glass or things like that, this could absolutely be a part of that. And that, of course, our preliminary plan would be to include screen protectors on the most major personal devices. But definitely, going forward, we would love to expand the scope of how many people we can help on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you.
I have a question. Thank you so much. It was great, and I really appreciated the science behind the blue and the red UV lights. Are there any other products now out that do something similar? Because I understand you mentioned like the over-the-counter sleep aids and that sort of thing, but is there any other app currently?
So it was on the uncredited matrix, and that is a very common tool that people fall to. But upon looking at it, you see a lot of that it relies on the consumer to like actively engage with it, and the success of it hasn't been tangibly improved. It doesn't show a tangible improvement in the way that red light therapy and red light illumination does, and so that's why Red Shield enjoys an advantage over that.
And I would say that just to answer her question a little more, I would say that something like the most similar product would be blue light glasses in regard to that, but our product emits red light instead of just blocking the blue light as well.
Thank you.
Well, I have the same question. What did you sacrifice other than sleep? Because you didn't say how much sleep you got during this, like the other 10.
Oh, you were referring to the sleep
What was your
efficiency?
average sleep that you got while you did this?
Right. So.
What did you sacrifice other than sleep?
So the National Institute of Science, so we use the sleep efficiency, which the National Institute of Sleep actually considers, it's a conglomerate of different qualities such as sleep latency, sleep wakeness, which refers to how long you actually are sleeping while in bed, among a plethora of other factors. So when you take all that into consideration, that includes, so when you see that there was higher sleep efficiency among those who use red light or no light at all, that shows that they were asleep longer, there was less disruptions to their sleep, and they actually went to sleep faster after getting into bed, if that answers your question.
So what did you sacrifice while doing this challenge?
Oh, well, I guess we did spend a little longer working on this for a couple days, definitely. So maybe, yeah, going forward, that's a great way to get more sleep.
Okay,
Right.
more sleep.
So as you agreed to compete in this competition, there must be a buzz amongst your friends and schoolmates about the topic and it being a common problem. What do these other students do, or what are they using to open the market for these kinds of ideas to be accepted?
So, like Cameron talked about in our presentation, we reached out to some of our fellow classmates to do a little study. Of course, it's not going to be 100% clinically accurate because we don't have those resources, but that's one thing that we did. I know a lot of students do complain about staying up late for like their devices on their computer, whether it's like writing an essay or finishing calculus homework. People are always complaining about that, so maybe that's one thing that we provided to like kind of expand upon that and provide screen protectors for laptops and other like school.
So there's buy-in that it's a problem and your peers
Absolutely. I think
accept the fact that there's need for improvement.
I think that's a big part of school culture these days, is that especially as an IB student, that's absolutely a part of the culture, is that you don't get any sleep if you're going to be part of the be part of the culture. And why we appreciate this Red Shield devices so much is that the added convenience it has. So it's quite easy to just buy a screen protector and slap it on, and most kids that we would be targeting as young adults are very familiar with that process. And so I would absolutely, believe that there is buy-in to that idea, and that there is absolutely a need for, and as we talked about earlier, the numbers on sleep deprivation are staggering, and it really requires an imminent solution. Maybe why we are seeing this such an imminent problem is because, like we said, current competitors just aren't meeting the moment, and we need to kind of change the way we look at things, and that's why we want to revolutionize that personal device accessory market.
This is more of a comment. I do like your sales model rather than direct to consumer. You're getting more of a reach by your sales model.
Right.
So I really appreciate that.
Because we looked into that because our school district, a lot of the schools, we have accessories for our laptops and our iPads, like the cases. So obviously we understand that not all schools are able to afford that, but to afford that addition in terms of accessories and the technology that's provided by the school to students. But being able to work with those schools would absolutely be a big part of our campaign.
Yeah.
Let's hear it one more time for our children. Now we're going to give our judges 2 minutes to write down their comments so they can select their scorecards. Sorry. We got to make it work. 2 minutes. So we're just going to talk about what we just saw. I can personally tell you that I use blue light glasses all the time because I'm always on the screen because that's my business, social media. But as far as the youth, my daughter doesn't even know what she knows what they are, but she doesn't use them. None of her friends use them. I'm like, you guys are on the screen too much to not be using them. Then the second thing is, I think that the screen time is #1 important. How many people lay in bed and scroll on TikTok or Reels on Facebook or Instagram?
Come on, Dave, put your hand up.
And it's just automatic scroll, right? It
I
doesn't
don't.
stop. So you literally lay in bed, and before you know it, it's like 1:30. You're like, oh my gosh, I was gonna go to bed early, and I'm just scrolling because it's just constantly going, right? Anybody else do that? No? Well, what keeps you up? What keeps you up? Thinking about the next day or what you had to do today? Like your brain always being on? You know, you all get like 8 or 9 hours of sleep a night? Change. We should have y'all with the coaches and the teams before we could have like got into that. Okay, great. So during this break, I would like to recognize our coaches. Each team was supported by a coach. Raju Thomas, I'm sorry, I hope I'm saying that right. Where are you at? Okay. He's an entrepreneur and UNF grad. Diana Vickers from Ascension Health. Karen Bowling. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And of course, you know Karen Bowling, Director of Partnership, MedNexus, and Dr. David Samansky. Thank you all. Because without you, we wouldn't have it, right? Thank you. So our next presenters tonight are also from FPC, Flagler Palm Coast High. We have Lunas, Brandon, Grayson, Chloe, and Nicholas with Sleep Area. Give them a round of applause. So excited for you guys. There you go, sir.
How's everybody doing?
Wonderful.
We're going to start. Have you ever felt as your sleep was not good enough quality, or have you ever waken up groggy? Well, we have the perfect solution for you. Introducing Sleeparium. This revolutionary new technology will help raise your sleep to the max. I'm Brendan, this is Glennis, Chloe, Nick, and Grayson, and we are the founders of Sleeparium. But who are we?
So our product, Sleeparium, aims to provide our customers with the best sleep experience possible. So we often found that students don't receive the recommended amount of hours that they need to receive a healthy lifestyle. So we want to take their minimal hours and make it so that they have the best possible sleep in order so that for them to wake up feeling healthy and well rested.
So this is just a little bit of a survey we did at our school, Flagler Palm Coast. We did it across all grade levels, freshman to senior, and we got about 60 responses. We got a couple teachers in here as well. And as you can see, that over 50% of the people that answered our survey are not getting the recommended 7 to 10 hours of sleep each night. Now, this adds up a lot over time when you think about all that students have to do when they go to school each day. As you can see on the right, the majority of these students are only getting enough sleep 2 to 3 nights a week, which is really just their weekends. So when you start getting into that like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we can understand why it's really hard for students to keep going every day and feel well rested when they wake up. Continuing on with this, we asked for some students' input on what they would like,
And as you'll see as our presentation continues, we actually came up with quite a few of these, and they matched up really well with what our students answered. And at the bottom here, we just further prove why students aren't getting enough sleep. And these are all things that we can't really do much to change. Everybody has homework, and we're all juniors in IB, so we understand that. As well as work, clubs, stress, and family, it can be really hard to get to bed each night. So why are we doing this now? What we found is, as high school juniors, as I mentioned, is that we are very busy. We all go to school, we wake up between 6 and 7 a.m. and go to school all day. Many of us stay after school for a couple hours and do a club. Maybe we have work after, and then when you go home and you eat dinner and maybe you have chores, it's really hard to get to bed on time. So that's why we're trying to focus on, maybe we can't get 10 hours of sleep each night, but rather we're gonna get as many hours as we can, and we're gonna make them really good quality, so that when we wake up, we feel like we got those 10 hours. We've also found through our research that there's been an increased prevalence of circadian rhythm interrupters. These are the things that will help wake you up in the middle of the night and make your sleep less quality. So we're focusing on reducing these through our product. Continuing on, we found a study done by the University of Washington in Seattle where 18 high schools delayed their high school start time until 8:30. Well, to us that might not sound like much. Each of these students got about 34 more minutes of sleep each night. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot when you really think about it, but if you look at the study, by the end of the school year, all of their grades went up by an average of 5.4%, which is half a grade level, or a letter grade. So we just are really focusing on why good sleep leads to success, especially in young adults.
Okay, so now you might be asking yourself what our product actually is. So the Sleeparium is a comprehensive system that can be integrated into your bedroom that consists of AC integration, where we will use it to keep the room at the proper temperature for sleep, a simulated natural lighting system which will simulate the sunset sunrise so that, when you're sleeping it feels a lot more natural. When you wake up, it's a lot better for you. An aromatherapy diffuser with our own line of essential oils which are more concentrated, come in bigger bottles, and are less diluted. A blue light particle filter to keep those bad circadian rhythm interrupters out, a natural alarm, and a personalized app with some Fitbit integration so you can control your system. All right, so now you also might be asking yourself, does this work? Is there science to prove it? Well, yes, there actually is. Studies from the National Library of Medicine have shown that lavender essential oils and others that have promoted sleep, which encourages better sleep quality and fewer interruptions of sleep. So you won't wake up in the middle of the night as much. Natural light has also been shown to improve the ability of your body to regulate its circadian rhythm, and waking up to natural light makes you feel more awake in the morning. Blue light is also a circadian rhythm interrupter, and the more we're exposed to it, the more likely you are to wake up in the middle of the night. Cold rooms have also been shown to improve your body's ability to fall asleep and stay asleep.
So you might be wondering, why is Sleeparium better than the rest of the products that are around? Now, it's primarily our package deal. Our package deal is the best that we can possibly offer. All of the things that Nick just mentioned for a low price, which I will get back to in just a moment, as well as our sleek design and customizable app that will allow you to really track your own sleep and work on your sleep more efficiently than you would otherwise. We also will patent our project to make sure that it's ours, and additionally, we are going to have customizable designs so that we can keep in touch with our teen audience who we really want to affect. Now, what are we going to need? We're going to need about $25,000 in research and development, and that's for primarily the blue light particle filter. Now, blue light is extremely well researched, and we're all aware of the factors that can play when trying to fall asleep, but the particle filter itself is not as well researched. We're going to spend an additional $65,000 in trying to promote our product and make sure that everyone understands the importance of sleep in our local communities. And then we're going to spend $10,000 more in sampling and trials so that everyone can really understand how well our project is doing, and adults will be more willing to buy it for their teenagers. And then we'll spend $40,000 on initial stock of 615 units, which should gross about $50,000, and then $20,000 more on fulfillment and packaging of those products to get them to our consumers exactly how they want and to enjoy them.
And as my group members have mentioned earlier, our main demographic and the audience we're trying to target here are young adults. They can be anywhere from 13 to 24, but we do also realize at the same time that they are quite young. They might not have the money to afford such a product that would improve their sleep quality. So at the same time, we're trying to target the parents with our advertising. And some of the psychographics that we've seen mainly among this young adult range are that they are very socially driven. They desire this validation from their peers, whether it be through wearing brands such as Hollister, or even just following some of the same people that they know on YouTube or any other social media platform. And at the same time, they're very critical, especially in our day and age. There's this huge sleep stigma where it's kind of more cool to stay up late, to play your favorite video game, rather than to get sleep early or have a good quality of sleep. And we want to make sure that we are addressing this issue because high schoolers are very critical. They're going to lash out, and they're not going to immediately accept this. This is why we kind of want to have celebrities work together and help promote our product. As Grayson said, that's why our advertising is so huge for our budget, because we want these larger influencers, these people to teach students that not only is it okay to sleep earlier, not only is it okay to sleep well, but it's also a great product to use to get that good sleep. And when you compare our product to some of our competitors, you see that we have an overwhelming advantage in comparison. Not only are we available to the common person like you or me when compared to other companies like Cora Health or Advent Health who are corporate only, but we are also more than just an app such as Calm. Although Calm has a lot of great features, a lot of its features are kept behind paywalls, or they're kept behind their discipline of meditation. Because not only is meditation a hard discipline to get into, but if you're having a particularly hard day to meditate, then you're not going to have that good quality of sleep. But with Sleeparium, you set it up, and every single day, consistently, you will have that good sleep quality. Additionally, we're not very intrusive. We don't want to put any chemicals or any kind of pills inside your body. We're a bit more holistic, and we don't want to have all these external influences other than our system to help you provide the best sleep environment.
So as technology continues to evolve, so will our product. So we want to provide our customers with the best updates in order for them to receive the best quality sleep possible. We will also be doing monthly checkups where we would be able to go into the customer's house and we would be able to see if our product is still working fine for them. On top of our free plan for our app, we will also be having a subscription where our customers will be able to receive personalized tips in order to receive a good experience. And on top of our essential oils, we have our own essential oils, as Nick mentioned previously, so our customers would have to come back to our product in order to purchase their essential oils. We really hope that you consider investing in our project. Thank you.
So you have captured my attention with regard to the essential oils. I have a long history in that business, but you have demonstrated your entrepreneurial sense, and I appreciate that very, very much. So the question I have is, would you consider the decor and the color of the bedroom important to creating an atmosphere that you mentioned several times in your presentation about what it means at home, and do you think those would be important avenues you could explore to sell additional products to reinforce your concept?
Yeah, so on top of our initial stock, we'll also be offering the option for customers to customize their product online with their colors, or maybe even put a picture of something on it so that they can feel maybe more like it fits in their house, as opposed to just buying something out of a box and installing it.
So copying off what Nick said, just to get a little bit more into it, since we are targeting all the way from kids to college students, and I mean beyond that as well, that we're not targeting adults or anything, we would also offer, like, maybe we'd have like a My Little Pony themed one or something to really encourage the kids to get into it. And then as we're going up, we could have different college teams or different things like that where it just really brings you in and makes it feel like it's your own system.
I'm sorry, I missed what you anticipate as your retail cost.
So it'll be $75 wholesale, and it will be $80 online for the product.
I have a question. First, I really liked the survey that you had 60 participants. Do any of you have this type of setup that you're trying out with all of these components at home?
So I don't have exactly this, but I know my family is pretty into technology, and we have used the natural light system. That's how we came up with it, is I know my brother used it, and it helped him a lot. I've had essential oil diffusers before, and I do feel like they help, as well as the cold room. Anytime I'm in a colder room, I just find it easier to fall asleep. Most of us have experienced at least one, if not all of these in our lives, and we see the result as to how it helps us. So that was where the idea came from, is if we can put all of them together, it will just make everyone feel better and sleep healthier.
I have a question about the number of hours that you invested to put this together. and I wanted to compliment you. It seemed like you have it well coordinated there, but I was curious how many hours you had invested in putting this presentation together. Man hours, that meaning times 5.
Yeah. The presentation alone, or?
No, the whole process.
So we started the process, I heard about this last year, unfortunately after the deadline, so we didn't apply. So I know me personally, I've been thinking about it, just different ideas in general. And then when we saw the sleep idea, we all kind of came together, and we spent quite a few hours, I don't know the exact number, but it was like a week or two, I'd say, where we were just bouncing ideas off of each other. And then we kind of came across the idea of, okay, instead of making one thing, why don't we put all of our ideas together into one final product? So once we got there, we started with only, I think, 2 or 3 in our package, and then we continued on, and after we submitted our initial thing, we ended up adding a couple more in to get our final package. So I'd say we spent a couple hours on it for the, sorry, yeah, okay. I believe we started this process in about late September, and we've been working on it
So it cost you some sleep then.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to kind of add on, like everything, the presentation, all the working on it, we've done it in school, out of school. I'm sure our parents can attest. They've seen us working on it. They've been driving us to and from. So they can probably are one of the biggest attesters or pieces of evidence that we put a lot of effort into this.
So I have one question. So if I come over for dinner and the AC system, am I just gonna automatically? Am I gonna like, hey, this is the sleep I need, so I need to be friends forever? Or can you control it by room?
Yeah, so that's what the app is for. The AC integration is going to be primarily into your bedroom, so you can control the temperature of just your bedroom. So we're adding like an extra piece to your AC unit is essentially what we're doing. So it's like a temperature-controlled room specifically for the bedroom. Because in our research, we found that about 65 degrees Fahrenheit is what will allow the body to naturally fall asleep better.
So we don't go to the bedroom.
Right.
Okay,
So
got
part
it.
of it also, we didn't mention this, but part of what comes along with the app is since it is personalized to you, you can set your bedtime, and if you want, everything will start to slowly get to those proper sleep conditions, so you start to feel tired naturally.
Oh, thank you.
So again, we're going to give the judges 2 more minutes to fill out their comments.
We're going to get them back, though.
Who here falls asleep at 65 degrees? I would freeze. I didn't know that I'd be able to go to sleep. That's really cold. We're in Florida. Like if it's 60 outside, I'm in a big parka, like a jacket. I'm cold. This is part I live in here for free. What? Oh, I sleep like a baby girl, let me tell you. I definitely get deep sleep every single night. It's so bad. I don't know that I get 8 or 9 hours, definitely 7. We have 2 more presenters to go, so don't forget to vote on your favorite team using your paper ballot on your seats. Again, you will hand in the votes when we are ready to exit and transition outside. Did everybody get one? If you don't have one, raise your hand. We'll make sure that the ladies get you one. Because you guys are going to decide on one of the winners, and we want your involvement. Anyone else need one? Okay, next, our presenters are from Nice and Beachside High Schools. We have Kyle, Shivan, Daniel, Adida, and Jay. They are Sleep Next. Woo! Let's hear it for them.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jay. This is Kyle, Shivan, Aditya, and Daniel. And together, we've created a new and innovative app called Sleep Next. High schoolers do not get enough sleep, and that is a huge problem. As reported by the CDC in 2021, nearly 80% of high schoolers do not get enough sleep. As a high schooler myself, I've noticed that when I don't get enough sleep, it takes a toll on my academic performance inside and outside of school, and leads to things like stress and anxiety. As a result, I've resorted to Google countless times on finding out how to get more sleep, just as I'm sure many of you may have at some point in your life. However, common search results entail things like eating a proper diet or getting more exercise. But even after having done all these things, I just didn't find them as viable solutions for myself. But there's always the option to talk to your doctor. However, many teenagers and young adults may find it difficult or uncomfortable to speak with their provider. So, how can we solve this issue?
By using SleepNext, SleepNext looks to secure the young adult and high school population within the United States that suffer from sleep deprivation. However, as a starting point, we want to focus on the northeast region of Florida, which totals at around 80,000 individuals. So, as an app, SleepNext is a never-before-seen app. SleepNext integrates parts of the sleep aid and sleep tracking app markets to create its brand new market. Integrating parts of the sleep aid and sleep app tracking markets, we have the opportunity to create our brand new market. SleepNext builds off of the previously $100 billion worth sleep market to create its own niche from which we can accumulate nearly 12 million consumers from our initial 80,000 consumers. So in addition, the app is free and quick to download, being accessible on the Google and Apple Play stores.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, what is SleepNext and why do we think it's so unique? Well, SleepNext is an app, and it's designed to help people with any sleep problems that they may have by providing different aids, treatments, therapies, or by connecting them to a local doctor or treatment center in case they need the in-person help. So how exactly does SleepNext work? Well, SleepNext utilizes a large database or library filled with different types of treatments. It is created by scouring the internet for multiple peer-reviewed articles and journals that have to do with sleep treatments, and they are categorized into keywords that relate to the symptoms that these treatments may relieve. When you first enter the app, you are greeted with an initial survey. The survey is about 3 to 5 minutes long, and it is all multiple choice. The survey asks questions about existing sleep disorders or sleep habits that you may have, and the answers that you give in this survey will have certain keywords in them that will retrieve different treatments from our database. For example, if I say I suffer from suffocation when sleeping, then the keyword suffocation will be used to retrieve sleep apnea treatments from the database, since suffocation is a big symptom of that. And the results would probably be around like a sleep apnea mask or maybe other suffocation-related treatments. Our goal with this app is to bring to light research that many people may not have the time or may have not heard of. We hope that by bringing to light this research, we can change lives and maybe progress future research in the near future.
So what will our costs look like? The estimated total for the SleepNext project is approximately $50,000 total dollars. This total factors in costs for the maintenance, the advertising, and the app's development. The development will be the largest portion of our costs. Due to us needing to create a database that will be utilized to link people to treatments, this app will require a level of complexity. Furthermore, the user interface must be simple and accessible to best assist the needs of the users. As such, we have decided to hire a professional software developer to create the front end and the back end for the app. The front end will be the user interface, everything that people will interact with when they click on the app, and the back end will be the actual code, everything that enables the app's functionality. We estimate that the front end will take around 500 hours of work, and the back end will be a little more, 850 hours of work. And paying the developer a rate of $31 per hour yields $42,000 total dollars for the app's development process. However, we believe we can offload this cost to some extent because we are all capable of coding, and we also believe we can self-fund a significant portion of this project.
So, how will we secure our users? We selected 4 social networks: Google, TikTok, Instagram, and Snapchat to advertise SleepNext in our pilot launch. All these social networks possess a significant percentage of users within our targeted population, which is high schoolers and young adults. So, to calculate the total projected marketing costs, we researched the appropriate CPMs, or cost per 1,000 impressions, regarding each social network and its estimated amount of impressions. So, for example, Google has a CPM of 2, and if we have an estimated impressions of 60,000, the total Google advertising cost will be around $120. This process follows suit for the remaining social networks, giving us a total projected advertising cost of $1,460 and a total estimated impressions of 260,000. However, we must take into effect that not all viewers who see our ads will be unique, or they will not be bound to download the app itself. To ensure SleepNext is held at a higher standard, we will be conducting annual maintenance, which may range from solving minor bugs or even replacing blocks of code. And with an anticipated maintenance cost of around 15 to 20% over overall development cost, we believe and estimate that our total maintenance cost per year will be around $7,300. So, how will we fund this? We plan on funding this. We plan on securing the necessary funds either through our personal monies or self-funding, finances raised via friends and family, monetary endeavors like GoFundMe or Kickstarter, or even working and operating with professionals or mentors, even here, just like MedNexus. So, moving on to projected revenue, since our ads will garner around 260,000 total impressions, and with an average engagement rate of 20%, we believe SleepNext will have around 60,000 total users, and with around 85% of people opening a health-related app once a week, we anticipate that there will be 53,000 people using SleepNext each week. So, by employing a 5-cent CPM advertisement or banner across our app, we will generate $2,620 a week, $136,000 a year, and our initial 3 years of launching SleepNext, we will generate $408,000. And to get into further detail, we will meet and exceed our break-even point of $41,850 by week 19 of releasing SleepNext.
SleepNext, today's solution for tomorrow's sleep. Thank you.
I appreciate the business side of this. You've done a lot of homework and done some great forecasting and projection. Have you considered what happens if somebody comes along and kind of steals your idea?
So if that would ever occur, we will make sure that this idea is patented so that, and to ensure that no one will steal this product, and ultimately this is a niche market. And if we're inventing something so special like this, we'll make sure to make a patent like this so no one will object and obscure.
So in addition, a lot of time for something in a product like this in a niche market, a lot of times bigger companies tend to buy these apps out. So a lot of the time when if we get the opportunity to ever sell the app, that's also a possible choice.
Good answer.
I have a question. First, I appreciate you mentioning the peer-reviewed articles that will ping those vocab words and that sort of thing. Did you mention the cost of the app to, say, the user? I don't know if I
Yes, so the app in itself is free. However, most of our revenue will actually be from hosting apps or ads on the app itself.
Okay, thank you.
Like I said, as for mentioned, we will be employing like a 5-cent CPM or cost per 1,000 impressions like banner. I don't know if you've seen banners, like small banners across apps. Yeah, we'll be employing those, and just that simple like sliver will allow us to generate our revenue that will ultimately bring us.
Will you have ads? Will you allow people to buy ads to put on it, like to just pop up with ads?
Yeah, so obviously for a lot of apps, there's obviously an ad-free version of it, and you can't pay for that. So we were thinking about saying that about $1 because the app itself is free, so that's just an extra option someone can have.
All right, thank you.
Well, was I right in concluding that perhaps this product would be useful for a target market beyond students?
So yeah, so as our initial focus is high schoolers in itself or young adults, the app can be useful for anyone else in that subject.
You know, us seniors have trouble sleeping sometimes.
Yeah.
And since we're, like Kyle said, we're focused on young adults, like 16 to 24-year-old range. Obviously, that's our target. That's our target right now. But in the future, or even right now, even if seniors do use our app, we are sure that it will make great use to them. So I'm sure it will make great use to me too, because we
don't discriminate.
Yeah.
For us.
This is harder than what they're doing to give it. If you want to give us some.
Everybody has their scorecard.
Yeah, she's quick. Yeah, she's hot.
You need more than 2 minutes?
No, we're good. We're good. We're good. Absolutely.
And the ads are where it's at. Who has like, what is it, Netflix or Hulu? Now they have this ad version or whatever, and there's ads on it all the time. That's their revenue.
So I'm trying to download it. Did you already do that? The Fitbit, because you got to download an app to make it work.
You want this one now? All right.
Just a reminder, after the next one, when we do go outside, you're gonna go outside to the front door, just a reminder.
You're gonna add them up for us? Oh, okay, got it.
No, I'm good. That's what's taking me so much time. I'm giving half points before.
Well, I had brought this to with a calculator on it. Are you kidding? I was gonna do that.
Okay, so our last two presenters for tonight are from East High School. Please help me welcome Anthony and Miles with Cozy Pillow. Let's give them a round of applause.
The last one. Huh?
Yep.
Thank you.
We have 4, so unfortunately we're one.
Good. Sure. Good.
This is cool. Lull me to sleep.
Hi, my name is Anthony Bisme.
My name is Miles Mormon.
Today we will be presenting the Tozy Pillow. So, our main purpose with the Tozy Pillow is to foster healthy sleeping lifestyle through the use of our ergonomic pillow design, our revolutionary alarm system, and our convenient application. Sleep deprivation is a growing problem. People continue to struggle with maintaining proper sleep schedules, and it's a growing challenge. Around 35% of Americans sleep for less than 7 hours a night, and roughly 80% of adults globally say they want to sleep better. This isn't just a problem with adults, as about 73% of high schoolers consistently fail to sleep a healthy amount.
I would know this as the sleep data that my MedNexus Fitbit has been giving me over the last few weeks has not exactly been ideal.
Many products currently available on the market, they only make sleep deprivation worse, such as loud jarring alarms that they can cause disorientation in the mornings. It can raise one's stress levels, leading to chronic issues. Also, pillows currently available, they don't match their users' preferred sleeping position, and this can cause back pain, neck irritation, and overall poor sleep. Many apps are designed to take data on every aspect of one's sleep, but they fall short when it comes to actually giving advice as to how to remedy those poor sleeping issues. Let's face it, knowing that you slept from 2:15 to 3:52 a.m. in like deep sleep isn't really the most helpful. So, also, many pillows, their actual material, there are many flaws with them, such as memory foam. Memory foam, it traps heat too easily. It can become uncomfortable when it comes to, it becomes uncomfortable without a cooling material to counteract the heat. And also, latex foam creates allergy concerns. So, we introduced the Tozy Pillow. Our ergonomic product is designed to essentially, it essentially takes into account a user's preferred sleeping positions. We use a cooling gel pad it snugly fits on the pillow itself, and it regulates the temperature of the pillow, because we also use memory foam. Also, we have our Tozy Pod is a revolutionary product that uses gradually increasing vibrating alarm to wake the users up sensibly. It also comes with custom audio alarms based on user specifications. It can also play white noise and any kind of tune you're interested in to lull the user to sleep. Also, the Tozy Pod itself has a 2-week battery life and 3-hour charging time. So this is a couple of models of our the Tozy Pod and the Tozy Pillow. So our app allows the user to set schedules, set reminders and alarms, and it also changes settings as well, and much more.
So this is a prototype for what the Tozy app might look like. As you can see, you can adjust the volume of each alarm and toggle them off when you're not using them. The alarm also gives you a new tip every day to push you in the right direction and has a collection of articles that also provide additional advice. In the app, you can also change the settings of the pillow and set sleep goals. The trends of the markets that Tozy fits into are looking really good. The smart pillow market has been growing rapidly and is estimated to reach a value of $1.6 billion by 2025. The sleep tech market as a whole should grow at a compound annual growth rate of 16.8% in the next 8 years, and North America, the region where most of Tozy sales will likely come from, has contributed to 36% of the global pillow market. We anticipate that our customer base could be divided into 3 main groups: busy students, those who struggle to sleep due to back and or neck pain, and the deaf or hard of hearing. We have to find the total market size as all people who are interested in purchasing a new pillow, which is estimated to be around 600 million people worldwide per year. If we narrow that number down based on the 3 categories we identified, we get about 70 million Americans. Here we have 2 hypothetical examples of what our customers might look like. One is Nick, a high school student who is middle class and involved in many extracurriculars that he struggles to juggle with hours upon hours of homework. And he wants to make the most out of the sleep that he gets, naturally. So and he also wants to be reminded to put down his phone before bed. And he thinks that reminders on an app of some sort could be the solution he's looking for. We also have an elderly woman named Angela who sleeps beside her husband, who wants to sleep in later than her, so she wants an alarm that doesn't disturb her husband. She sleeps in a position that most pillows don't support, and as a result, she has severe neck and back pain. Also, she hates using a hot pillow in the summer. So after analyzing several factors, when calculating our cost, we found that we would need to sell about 143 pillows per month to overcome our early monthly cost. The price of the Tozy pillow will be set at $215 for now, which would produce a profit of $123 per pillow. We have found that the Tozy has 3 main competitors. The first is the Seek Smart pillow, which is roughly the same price as the Tozy and has several features in common with our product, such as a vibrating alarm. However, it's not very reliable as there are many complaints about its quality. The Tozy pillow, our product, our pillow has a lifetime warranty that protects against accidental damage, so our product will be much more reliable than this company's. Also, the Zeek pillow does not have a cooling material to offset the heat that the memory foam generates. The Sharp Pillow Alarm Clock is a simple, cheap device that can be placed under a pillow and will vibrate to wake the user up. This alarm clock. So it's a cheap cost, but it doesn't come with. It doesn't have the pillow to go with it that people need. If people are using an average pillow, it's going to end up hurting them in the long run. That's not going to fix the problem, just having that vibrating alarm. We also have a Sleep Cycle app that comes with cost about $10 per month, which contrasts with the Tozy app that has all of its features for free once you purchase the app. Yeah, that's oh gosh. So, we need the Tozy pillow. So, overall, this is a summary of our product, and yes, thank you so much for having us.
So, if I can, how will you sell it? Is it an online purchase, or will you also try to sell it in a retail environment?
Yeah, so we were thinking about, since when calculating the cost, we found that the retail costs were much higher than just selling on Amazon, which you pay, I believe, $40 per month for, and with that $40 per month purchase, it's like the high tier of an Amazon subscription, so you get to like the top of the priority. You're recommended a lot. So we figured that would be a lot cheaper to start with, and then once we get our sales up and make up for those heavy monthly costs that we discussed earlier, then we could maybe switch over to retail. That's what we were thinking.
How did you come up with the name Tozy?
Oh, so actually, we used a name generator, a brand generator essentially, and we just happened to come across Tozy, it rhymed with cozy. It also meant soft as cotton, so I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So the previous presentation, the topic of seniors getting sleep was being not addressed, but you took it on with your product, it looks like. Thank you.
So I have, so no matter what we do, right? So we can have a nice room, a wonderful bed. I think the two most important parts is once you do decide to go to sleep is your cover and pillow, right? Either you're going to be too hot, too cold, or your neck is going to be, you got to get comfortable, right? And I think you two defined that well.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
What were some challenges that you faced just doing all of your research and just putting together the whole process?
Okay, so I actually am doing a math essay on designing a pillow that would be personalized to me, and based on that math, I essentially came across this design. That was one of the challenges we had to go through, finding a proper pillow design that we could use. Yeah, that was one of them.
And on my part, it was really hard for me to find a lot of like financial data, like the sales of a certain company. A lot of that stuff's kind of like hidden, and it's also in like paid reports. We have to pay thousands of dollars for these companies' reports, industry reports. So it was really difficult searching for that information, but I think we got some relevant information out there.
Once
eventually.
the pillow is purchased, there's an app that goes with it. Is it life of the pillow that you have access to the app, or is it something that you anticipate having to purchase, annually, monthly, like to have access to it?
Yeah, so the app, that's the benefit of the app that we were talking about in comparison to like the Sleep Cycle app, is that it's completely free once you've purchased the pillow. And also, if you don't want to purchase the pillow, because we understand that it is on the higher end for a pillow, you could have other basic features of it, such as giving you tips and giving you those articles. So you can get the free features of it as well, even if you don't want to buy a pillow.
Have you thought about licensing it to somebody like Mike Lindell?
Oh, the pillow guy, my pillow guy. Maybe we should consider it. Yeah, we will. We'll get on that right away. Is that all?
Well done.
Okay, again, we're just going to give a few more minutes to the judges so they can finish up their comments. Let's give another round of applause for all of the presenters tonight. As our judges finish up with the final comments and we tally the scores, we are going to be transitioning outside for pictures. So don't forget to turn in your audience choice ballots to Melanie, Karen, right here, they're at the doors, and if you need the restroom, it's to the back.
Yeah.
So we'll see you outside in 5 minutes. And please go out the front door so that you can walk all the way around.
Well done. Oh, yeah. That was fun. Enjoyed that. Was that nice? That was a lot of fun. They were terrific. They're so good at responding.